Wait, did we just become TorontoAirguns.com? Nope, this, my friends, is a single-shot break barrel pistol. Yes, these are usually 4.5 millimeters, but this one is chambered in 6. Now, is there a place for these pistols? When I was a kid, my uncle came over one day with a present for my older brother and I. A Crosman spring-powered 1911 pellet pistol. It was my first introduction to air guns of any kind, and you bet we shot the snot out of that thing. It's probably why I still have a soft spot for 1911s. The important thing though was it wasn't too much gun for us. You had to rack back the slide, break open the action, insert one pellet, close the action, push back the slide, and then take one shot. We were supervised, of course, but the design by nature is considerably safer than something with full auto or even semi-auto. It was a great introduction to shooting, and once we proved we were capable of not shooting each other, we could call it our own. Well, half my brother's, but really, it was mine. Seeing a gun like this really takes me back to those days, and I probably wouldn't be into airsoft or even standing here if it wasn't for these plinkers. Now, the main reason to look at these over 4.5mm air guns is these can run biodegradable ammunition instead of lead or copper ammo. There's probably a lot of that in my old backyard. We have two options today, the short barrel FS1401 and the long barrel FS1402. They're largely identical, but it's worth noting that the longer barrel has a bit more leverage, so it's easier to break open that barrel. Dimensionally, even the short barrel is longer than most pistols, and the long barrel is almost as big as some SMGs. Is it just me, or does this look a lot like the Nintendo Zapper? Someone really needs to make a custom paint scheme for this. The packaging is a rather nondescript cardboard box, and the only accessory you get is an exploded parts diagram. No usage instructions, but then again, it's not the most complex system. To use, break open the barrel and fold down until it locks. Insert one BB into the chamber until it's flush with the opening. Fold the barrel back up until it locks. The safety is a cross-block safety, right for safe and left for fire. Aim down the sights, fire off a shot, and repeat the whole process. It's pretty cool that you actually get some vapor that comes out of the barrel after you shoot it. It vapes! Looking at velocity, the shorter barrel shoots about 460 feet per second, with the longer barrel shooting closer to 480. These things are not toys, and they pack quite a punch. Going back to my first Springer, part of what made it safe is that we respected the power. Honestly, if we had gotten low-powered Clearsoft Springers, it probably would have devolved into shooting each other and probably the TV in the process. These are definitely not going to be field legal for most fields and are better suited for cottage plinking. Of course, it doesn't take gas or batteries, so it costs next to nothing to shoot all day long. Good luck getting through even a couple hundred shots though. Cocking mechanism is pretty stiff, and you get a nice arm workout when you're shooting. Looking at externals, these are a full polymer build along with metal internals. On our scales, the long barrel comes in at 826 grams, with the short barrel coming in at 535. For reference, an Umres Glock comes in at 650 grams. Center of balance is actually pretty good and feels pretty balanced for such a long pistol. It feels lighter than it actually is in the hands and is a great weight for younger shooters. It's not based on a real gun, and the only trades we see are for BCS 100, and a rather interesting claim that sales of this product are permitted to minors. I don't know about that one. You're still gonna have to be 18 to buy it from us. Also, watch out for those sever injuries. Up top, you have your basic notch and post iron sights, and I'm glad to see adjustment for windage, but not for elevation. It's possible to mount scope rings onto the barrel, but you're gonna have to source 14mm scope rings, and they might be a little harder to find. Overall build quality is quite good. Make no mistake, it feels like an air pistol, but the barrel is absolutely solid, and breaking open the action makes a satisfying click. It would have been nice to have a full metal body, but the only real negative I see is a seam line on the grip that affects comfort, and I definitely file it down. The grip itself is one of those ergonomic ones and is pretty comfortable, though the angle is canted quite far forwards. The grip is fully symmetrical, and as a whole, this pistol is fully ambidextrous. Let's take a look at that trigger. There's 2mm of take up before the wall. The The brake is just after the wall and is quite heavy, though with a clean brake. It's a brake barrel, so there's no reset. Overall, the trigger is clean enough to be a good introduction to triggers, but it's heavy enough that you have to be quite sure that you want to pull it. One unfortunate side effect being based on an airgun design is no hop-up at all. This will definitely affect range, but let's see that accuracy. It's actually surprisingly accurate even without a hop-up. The larger targets weren't much of an issue, and the smaller ones could be nailed once you figure out the sights. Out of the box, they were a little bit off. Despite the large barrel difference, the two different models felt about the same in terms of accuracy, but I'd still go with the longer barrel for ease of racking. As for shooting feel, it's a non-blowback, but still has a nice jolt when you pull that trigger. Hearing the loud muzzle report along with a nice kick lets you know that this thing has got some pretty serious power. Definitely enough to satisfy a first-time shooter. And there you have it, the FS1401 and the 1402. If you're looking to get someone younger into shooting sports, I think these make a pretty good case for themselves. It's powerful enough that it doesn't feel like a toy, and it's cheap to shoot all day long. With biodegradable ammunition, you don't have to worry about lead or copper all over your backyard. Obviously, don't leave it alone with a kid, but it's nice to have a gun in the collection to call your own. It sure was for me. It's a very simple design, and even without maintenance, there's just not a lot that can go wrong. It's also a great option if one of your buddies wants to shoot one of your guns, but you don't quite trust them not to break everything they breathe on. This has been a rather interesting video for me that really took me back to when I first began shooting. What was your very first gun? Let us know in the comments down below. As always, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to support the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.